And welcome to the Kenny Pickett Show, Panther-Lair.com, presented by WellHive. I'm Chris Peak. He's Kenny Pickett. Kenny, I feel like I haven't seen you in weeks, man. What have you been doing? You had the off week. We had no Kenny Pickett Show. What'd you do during the off week? I mean, were you off in the Bahamas or something? What was your off week like?
I wish I'd be looking a lot tanner than this if I was down there. Yeah, just had light couple of days of practice, gotten ahead on Virginia Tech, had the chance to go home for a few days, see some family, saw my grandparents, my girlfriend, and some friends. So, had a great weekend. I'm ready to get back to work.
Nice. Now I know we joked one time, or maybe in August or sometime we joked about I would have you read mean tweets sometime. I would find all the people who criticize you on Twitter and have you read the tweets, and it'd be really funny. We had a good laugh about it. You said you stay away from that stuff. You don't look at it. When we're kind of in the opposite situation now, there's not a lot of mean tweets out there. They're all very kind and very nice about you. Have you allowed yourself in the last week, 2 weeks to take a look at social media to see what people are saying right now about Pitt and about you?
I'll see certain things. But it's all the same. Honestly, it's all the same. It's all outside opinions. And I kind of pull them all in the same thing. It doesn't really affect me one way or the other. I think that kind of gives me a good perspective on it. Just like I care about my teammates and my family and my close friends and their opinions, and everybody else's I really don't care about. So I think if I keep it that way with the positive and the negative, I appreciate the positive. If it's negative, it is what it is, and just move on.
I know, Coach Narduzzi had his weekly press conference on Monday. He said one of the things the coaches spend a lot of time during the off week on is self-scouting, looking for those vulnerabilities or those weaknesses the other teams might see. When you went back and looked over the film from that Georgia Tech game, what were you able to pick apart? It doesn't look like there were too many things you guys fell short on offensively. What were the things that you look at? I know every week we do what was the best thing from that game? What's the thing you needed to improve on the most? Take the second part of that question. When you went back and self-scouted that Georgia Tech game, what stood out to you as something that you feel like you need to improve on?
Just consistency across the board. There's sometimes, there's a play here or there that we missed that, in a closer game, it could cost you. And it's something that, we just want to, strive for perfection. So I think we were a little slower in the second half. But overall, I was happy with the way we played. I think we took a step in the right direction, especially that being an ACC game. We got our first win under our belts in the ACC, and now obviously going on the road to Blacksburg, it's gonna be a tough environment. Glad we have the Tennessee game under our belt to kind of have experience on the road in a loud environment. So having that I think will help us a lot.
I think you guys might have would you score in the second half at Georgia Tech? Maybe 10 points.
Yeah,
it was like a low scoring half, but then when you looked at the drives, you have an 8-minute drive to kill the game. You have a couple 4-minute drives. I got to think when you look back at it, even if you only scored 10, I got to think you got to look at that half and feel like it was a pretty effective half because you were able to drain so much clock. You guys pretty much did what you wanted in the second half, right?
Yeah, that was really what we wanted to do. Obviously being up that many points, you're not as aggressive and as, pushing the ball down the field as you are, if you can control the line of scrimmage, run the football, that's what you're going to do. We ended up doing that pretty well, hit some passes and had the play action down there to, Daniel Carterly get on the flat and got a score there. Nice to see Sam get a field goal on the road. So, all positive things, all good things, really happy with the way the O-line played. Shout out to those guys and the way they've been protecting and, improving the run game, which I've said that they're doing and they continue to do. So, really proud of our guys overall.
Are you, and we've probably talked about this at different points over the season so far, but are you feeling more comfortable in the pocket, either due to protection being better or just your sense of the pressure being better this season? Do you notice a difference between maybe how you felt a year ago or 2 years ago?
Yeah, I definitely feel a ton better in the pocket. And that was one of the, the areas of improvement I really wanted to work on. And I think a lot ties into that. It's obviously protection from the O-line and our running backs picking up blitzes and all those things, but really just me being a step ahead, I think, in my progressions and knowing where I want to go with the football in case I get pressure or, if I see a certain look that I've seen on film and I'm going to go right here, right now, so I don't have to hold the ball any longer. All those things go along with it, as well as, like sharpening the craft of, pocket footwork and maintaining a good base. So there's a lot of things that go into it, but I think, I got to thank the guys up front, like I said, and the backs, and then me just, getting through my progressions faster and knowing where I want to go with the football.
Did you watch many ACC games over the weekend? Did you watch many college football games on Saturday?
Yeah, I tried to. I got a chance to go see my buddy play. So, One of my best friends growing up and from high school, I got a chance to go see him play, so that was great. It's tough seeing things. It's nice just to watch games when you're not playing a team, but we had the Virginia Tech game against Notre Dame. I'm watching it on TV. You just can't really see much. It's that kind of camera angle is not great for breaking down the game, but you could see, what Notre Dame did and where they had success and where they didn't. And obviously, Tech has a lot of, really good playmakers on that side of the ball, and they're a really good team. They give, Notre Dame everything they have.
You're experiencing it the way the rest of us do, where we're watching, we watch the quarterback drop back to pass and he's winding up for a deep one. We're like, wonder who's down there.
That's right.
Yeah. For you, it's usually Jordan Addison, which seems to be a pretty good proposition. But yeah, there's a lot of sort of, just kind of wondering, wonder who he's going to throw it to, or because we're at the game, you can see, oh, that guy is wide open, but you have no idea on television.
Right.
What do you see around the conference right now? And I feel like, I know we've talked about this before. I mean, it really looks pretty wide open. I mean, any observations on what you've seen as far as, teams rising, teams falling, that kind of thing around the conference?
I think it's just going to be up and down, as the year goes. I think it's, really competitive. A lot of teams that, have a lot of great players, and you're seeing, there's now you got, middle of the season, you're dealing with teams that have injuries and guys trying to get back and all this stuff. So it's going to be a lot of up and down, and we just have to manage that, manage the success, manage the adversity, and, take it one week at a time.
Is it weird to you that there are a couple teams in this conference that have already played 5 ACC games? You guys have played 1?
Yeah, that's just how the schedule kind of works, and it, plays out. I know a lot of teams that have, the out of conference towards the back. There's like 1 or 2 in the back half of the schedule. I don't think I've ever had that in my career. Usually they're all up front, for us at least. So yeah, no, it's definitely, like I said, it's up and down. It's crazy every weekend. The ACC is kind of living up to its reputation. So I'm excited to get back out there this weekend.
Yeah, every now and then you guys would get like a random Notre Dame game thrown in like late October or maybe early November or something. But like you mentioned, Notre Dame played Virginia Tech on Saturday. You guys have the Hokies this week. I mean, their defense seems to be the strength of their team. I mean, what is this the same Virginia Tech, same type of Virginia Tech that you've seen over the last 4 years that you played against them?
I think they just keep getting better, and they have, a lot of really good veteran players, have some transfers in. But watch them against Notre Dame, who's number 14 team in the country. I mean, they had that game. I really watched, and I thought they were going to come out with the win. Some things just didn't go their way. That happens, but I think a really, really good team. Obviously, a great environment. I think they obviously use that to their advantage playing home with the kind of environment they have. So we have to fall back on what we did against Tennessee. Managing the noise and the crowd, and really just focus on communicating and, executing every play that we can.
You've said before, this was the toughest place you've played, or maybe the loudest place that you've played. And this was really kind of where it started for you, right? I mean, I don't think we count the Syracuse game. It was 1 snap, or even the NC State game in 2017. But I mean, this was the game where came in, played 3 quarters and almost led to a victory. I mean, but you've never won down there, right? So you've played down there twice, and still looking for that first win. I mean, are you excited for this? This is the last opportunity to maybe go into that stadium and beat that crowd?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's games that, when I decided to come back that I, have circled, or you say you have, like, you're excited for, you're looking forward to. I didn't think I played great against Georgia Tech, so I wanted, to go out there and play well and get a convincing win there. And then, like you said, never won at Virginia Tech. So, I'm be ready to go for this week. I know our guys are ready to go coming off a bye week. Everyone's rested, and so we want to go down there with an edge and come out with a win.
All right, some really good questions, I think, from the people on Panther-Lair.com. So I want to jump into those. I put out a new call for questions before we take this episode, and I think the fans came through. And I like this first one from 316 South Bouquet. He says, Peyton Manning made some waves a few weeks ago when he said that halftime adjustments are a myth because there just isn't enough time to get anything done. Is this consistent with your experience, Kenny, both in terms of either making adjustments or noticing bigger defensive adjustments after halftime?
Yeah, that's a really good point by Peyton. I mean, for an offense, you have plays that you run in the first half. Odds are you really don't get to those plays again in the second half. You have a whole another set of plays that you're saving up. So we'll come in and we'll say, okay, this is what worked. We may go back to this. This is what we have on deck for this half that we've practiced, that we prepared for. for the looks that we've gotten. So that's really, I would say, adjustments. That's kind of like, I guess, how the adjustments work. If they just flat out come out and stop us on a play, maybe you'll try to mess with it, a tweak here or there. But, like you said, you don't have all day in there to say, okay, we got to do this. Next thing you know, you got to go back out there and play. So really it's like, okay, this didn't work. Let's trash it and we'll go on and move to the next thing. We have a bunch of stuff in the game plan that we like, and this is what we want to get to.
Is it pretty tough? Do you think it's pretty tough probably for the other side of the ball to make sort of wholesale changes, just all of a sudden turn around and change their defense entirely, based on what you guys have done in the first half? I mean, have you ever seen a team make drastic changes to their defense at halftime?
No, I mean, that's like, there's just not enough time. I think if you try to make drastic changes, you're going to have problems. You're going to have busted coverages. You're going to have, someone's not going to be in the right gap, just things like that where things can go wrong. So I think people just try to dumb it down and make it, so their guys can go out there and play fast and, or fall back on things that we've done in practice.
All right. Pitfan717 says, game time preference, noon, 3:30 or 8 o'clock.
That's I think the older I've gotten, I value sleep. So I'd say noon. I think, the 8 o'clock games, man, if it's an away game, we've gotten home. So, I mean, just early in the morning, really, away games that are at night, 8 o'clock, those are always long trips. So, I think that everybody really loves playing at 12, and, you get to see your family after, you get to hang out, and, those are always, really nice days.
There's something to be said for just getting up and going too, right? Not getting up and sitting around for 12 hours.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're a morning practice team, so having the alarm go off at 7 to go play, it just feels normal. You're comfortable with it. It's just another day. So,
right. QH2P says there was a lot of discussion after the Western Michigan game about bouncing back from a tough loss, but what about bouncing back from a big win? How do the players talk about keeping the energy up, not losing focus after big wins, especially when you have an off week in between?
Yeah, I mean, I think really just keeping the goal in mind, which is obviously we want to win the ACC this year. So that's, I think if you put that in perspective, you kind of turn the page quick. It's the 24-hour rule, whether you win or lose. I'm big on that. So, as soon as the 24-hour rule was up for Georgia Tech, and I know we had the bye week, but, we were talking Virginia Tech, and, that's the focus right now.
All right. It's kind of two questions in one here. 121 Rum and TJ Fairley got some good questions. 121 Rum says, all of my New Jersey friends argue about this relentlessly. Is Central Jersey a thing, or is it only North Jersey versus South Jersey? And TJ Fairley has the follow-up, pork roll or Taylor ham. Now, I know what a pork roll is, but I don't know what Taylor ham is. So you're going to have to answer all these questions. Is Central Jersey a thing? And then pork roll or Taylor ham, and side question, what is Taylor ham?
Okay, so I'm from Central Jersey, so it's definitely a thing. I played in the Central Jersey Group 3 playoffs, so it's 100% a thing. Only people who don't say it's a thing are from North and South Jersey. Everyone from Central Jersey claims that it's Central Jersey, and it's pork roll. It's not Taylor ham. It'll always be pork roll. I don't know where Taylor ham came from or what Taylor ham is, but it's pork roll.
Oh wait, so it's the same thing. We're just talking about something with two different names. Is that what you're saying?
That's yes, technically yes, but I'm not even like it's pork roll. It's just I always grew up never heard of Taylor ham, so I think I moved out of went to camps out of state or something and heard people say Taylor ham, and it's pork roll.
All right, so where you're from, Oakhurst, Ocean Township, who would try to claim that then? Like, would North Jersey try to claim that, or would South Jersey try to claim that?
Exactly. I couldn't tell you. People from North Jersey say I'm from South Jersey. People from South Jersey say I'm from North Jersey. So I'm like, okay, so I'm from Central Jersey then.
So none of them want you. Nobody wants to.
Yeah, I guess no. Okay. I guess no one wants us. Yeah, it's always just no one knows. It's just Central. I don't know where the confusion came from.
Well, I mean, they always joke, right, that North Jersey is like an extension of New York City and South Jersey is an extension of Philly, right? So what is Central Jersey an extension of? Is it just an extension of like the Delaware Water Gap or something? What is an extension of?
Maybe we get a mix of both. We
All right.
Get the best of both worlds.
The last thing I had to ask you about that Jersey thing, just because I actually looked up Oakhurst on the map just before we talked, because I wanted to make sure you were actually in Central Jersey, very close to Asbury Park. So you're a Springsteen guy? Yep. Is that your thing? Are you a Springsteen guy?
Yeah, I've gotten that question a lot. I like Springsteen songs, and if I'm ever at like a family barbecue or anything, I always play his. If I'm on the speaker, I'm always gonna play his songs because I know the parents love it. My best friend's dad, who I just went and saw play this weekend, he's he's been to so many concerts. He's a Bruce diehard. So I know plenty of them.
All right. Well, good for you. I think he's overrated, but I shouldn't say that to a Jersey guy. So I'll keep it. All right. Let's move on. We got a couple more questions I definitely want to get to, but I'm glad we could talk. We could clear that up about Jersey. Now I understand Jersey geography a little bit better.
There you go.
Smedges says, how many times did you change the play at the line of scrimmage versus Georgia Tech? Maybe not an exact number, but I mean, how often do you think that happened?
A couple, and really it's based off game plan and what. So, sometimes you have Coach Webb has a pretty good beat on what they're doing, and we don't really need to have too many checks or audibles at the line. Sometimes if guys like to spin coverages and they like to, bump fronts on certain looks that we get off shifts and motions, then you're going to have more checks and more audibles. So last week, there's only a few times. All
right. Last question, Berg B. How do you feel about bubble screens? This is a big topic, Kenny. I don't know if you understand how much this means to the pit. Like this, it's not quite as big a topic as running to the sidelines for the play call. I mean, that is topic number one. Certainly it was entering the season, but bubble screens, man, they don't like them. But how do you feel about bubble screens?
You need them in the offense. And if they go for 3 yards, I'm sure that's why, or no gain, I'm sure that's why they don't like them. But if you're holding that linebacker or that safety out of the box and not letting him get in the run fit right away, that's why the runs pop for 8-10 yards, because he's waiting half a second because he sees that there's a bubble screen. He sees me fake a bubble or something, and he's just late getting in the box. That's what allows those runs to go. If you don't have those tagged on the run play and he can just fly in the box, that's why they have the extra hat in the box, and the run game really doesn't work. So in order for those kind of plays to pop, I need to throw some out there. Even if you're getting 2 or 3 yards, it's okay. It makes them respect it. Sometimes they pop for more. I think giving Jordan Addison the ball in space isn't such a bad thing. So, we'll do that from time to time. Hold that guy for half a second and let the backs get, that's how they get those extra yards.
Was there a play or two at Georgia Tech where you feel like you got extra running yards because it worked like that, because the safety had to hold on the receiver?
100%. I mean, you can watch the film and you can see the same backer holding because we have that bubble screen. He can't fly into the box the way he wants to. So, it all ties together. I know that, a lot of people want the big time touchdowns always, but sometimes you got to do certain things to make the defense respect it, and it'll work out in the long run.
I think people get upset because it seems like the ball flies through the air for more yards than you actually gain on the play. It might go like 12 yards across the field and then you gain 3. But this is great though. I mean, we're dispelling Pitt fan myths like one at a time, running to the sidelines, screens. I'll have to see what we come up with next. You already said you want an on-campus stadium though, so I'm not going to be able to go to you for that. But
no, yeah, I'm adamant on that. We'll make that happen sooner or later.
They want me to keep asking you about it. They want you to lead the charge, but maybe if you keep throwing touchdown passes, you can exert some influence. But
sounds
all
good.
Right, Kenny, I appreciate it, man. It was fun as always. Good luck at Virginia Tech, and we will talk to you again next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, Chris.